Most of my report is in fact, all of my report is in written form for both myself, the assistant superintendents, and their staff. So I know that you have read that, and that is some substance of my report. My report will regularly now be extended to include shared governance activity, record of consultation, not a minutes of shared governance or the recitation of issues. And that activity report is in your packet. And I would only say to conclude that I had a meeting, a very collegial and civil meeting with the newly elected officers of the Academic Senate, including President Cairo, along with the two assistant superintendents and Ophelia Ariano. We had a good discussion. We got some things squared away, not the least of which is agreeing to a tentative meeting schedule moving forward. So we look forward to working with the new leadership of the Senate. So that is my report.
Okay, I'll extend congratulations to the Academic Senate President-elect Cairo, sitting back, faithfully attending the meeting, so thank you. And I'm very pleased to hear people are coming together and talking, so thank you for that as well. I was going to wait and tell you privately afterwards, but he set it all up, and I know you're here, so I'll just say it publicly for everybody. I appreciate you guys getting in the same room and talking like that. We are at item Q, shared governance, and I look to President Frazier.
Thank you, President Martin. Most of what the negative stuff I got out earlier, so I'll just stick with the positives. This is my last meeting representing the Associated Students Organization. On this campus, I've been doing that since around about February 2012 when President Jackson was unable to attend these meetings. So it's been interesting and turbulent, but definitely an honor to represent the Associated Students to you each and every meeting that I've attended. The new incoming Associated Students President will be John Fraser. We are still not related. And his board looks forward to getting straight to work on many of the issues. As you know, our term now changes in June 1st to sync up with the student trustee terms. I was in attendance at the Student Senate at California Community Colleges. We discussed a lot of different policy items, not only the smoking policy, but also several bills that will be going through legislature directly related to student representation. Specifically AB 1358, which expands the student representation fee, again optionally, to a $2 fee instead of the $1 we currently have. If we chose to impose this upon ourselves, and when I say choice, I mean it has to go to student vote, and there are specific thresholds it has to meet before it is adopted, then it would mean that the $1 would remain on campus, but the second dollar would go directly to the Student Senate organization. Because right now the only funding they receive is about $30,000 from the Chancellor's office and whatever donations they can beg from community colleges around. So that law is going through, and it looks like it has pretty broad support. The second issue was AB 955 from Assemblymember Williams, which the Associated Students has taken a position of strong opposition to, as we believe it encourages two-tiered contract education, the likes of which we saw at Santa Monica College attempting to be implemented. And the third is AB 447, which currently changes the student trustee role to make a lot of the current privileges that are afforded by the board, which this board already does, a part of the law, because there are community college districts that don't currently do that. The main focus of discussion was what is the role of the student trustee, and there are some quarters of the SSCCC who would like to see this trustee, similarly to the CSU and UC regents and trustees, having a vote that carries as opposed to an advisory. I don't know how far that's going to get out anyway, but I just thought you'd all like to know. Beyond that, it's been an honor. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, President Frazier. And President Hanley.
Good evening. Let me also publicly congratulate President-elect Cairo on his election. And this, I have one more meeting, then I'm off to Indonesia. Maybe I should stay there. I voted 24 yes, 0 no, and 1 abstention with 8 absent. I've been directed to read the statement to the board. By the way, I did not have a vote in this resolution. Whereas President Mark Rocha, the President Superintendent, has repeatedly violated the regulations in the spirit of shared governance. Whereas President Mark Rocha violated AB 1725's provision for shared governance, which reads that a community college district's governing board must consult collegially to develop policies on academic and professional matters by relying primarily on the advice and judgment of the academic senate or the governing board or its designees in the academic senate, so reach mutual agreement by written resolution, regulation, or policy of the governing board effectuating such recommendations. By 1, on August 29, 2012, unilaterally recommending cancellation of the winter 2013 year session and willfully representing excerpted minutes from the calendar committee's discussions as the calendar committee's assent to and support for a trimester calendar, and in doing so willfully disregarded an already established Senate-approved 2012-13 academic calendar, which had been A, signed off by all members of the college's shared governance calendar committee on April 12, 2012, recommended for adoption by the college council on April 25, 2012, and C, unanimously approved by the governing board of trustees on May 2nd, 2012. Second, mandating a campus-wide instructional division realignment over the objections of the reorganization and realignment committees, which had spent months deliberating and whose work President Rocha had previously authorized to assess, restructure, and realign instructional divisions. 3, imposing class size increases in fall 2010 and spring 2013, disregarding the past practices and year-long process of the curriculum and instruction committee in developing pedagogically appropriate class size limits for the school, as well as the recommendations of the VP of Education Services. Whereas the Pasadena City College Board of Trustees, in keeping with the Accrediting Commission for Community and Junior Colleges accreditation standards, delegates full responsibility and authority to the Chief Administrator to implement and administer board-approved policies without board interference and holds him or her accountable for the operations of the district. Therefore, be it resolved that the Academic Senate of Pasadena City College has no confidence in President Mark Rocha to maintain a healthy shared governance system, implement major changes responsibly, provide effective leadership to the campus community, and or communicate accurately to the board the recommendations of the Academic Senate and the input of the campus community. And I'd like to, since I don't get a vote, I'd let my own statements on the April 1st minutes speak for themselves. Thank you.
Okay, and then remind me, Dr. Nicholas, are you part of the shared governance thing? You're on the right table, right? So I know I keep going on a roll and I'm supposed to stop someplace.
I think I'm on.
You're in, right? So let's.
I just want to thank Dr. Mann, Dr. Rocha, and the other executives for attending our Management Association retirement breakfast this morning. I appreciate you being there. Thank you.
Okay, great, thank you. We're at announcements then by the Board of Trustees. Mr. Thompson.
Yes, two things. Dr. Mann and I attended the award ceremony of the PCC Foundation last Friday evening at the University Club, which was run by Bobby Martin, or Bobby Abram, and the foundation board. They awarded a number of faculty people certain monetary gifts for their innovations, and that was very helpful to do. Secondly, I wanted to just make everybody aware of the fact is that on May the 30th, which is a long ways away seemingly, at the Athenaeum at Caltech at 6 o'clock, the Pasadena Educational Foundation is going to have its annual meeting. And the speaker this year will be Dr. Jonathan Veach, the president of Occidental College. And so if all of you will come to that and support public education and specifically PEF and its work to support the Pasadena Unified School District and the public schools of this community.
This past weekend I had a chance to attend the FONDI conference, which is the Agency for Americans in Higher Education, and one of the issues that came out that was kind of a big center of discussion was the whole issue of the NPZ. And so since we're an HSI grant-funded college, there's been a lot of discussion in both communities, both the Hispanic and the Asian Americans, about the conflict in the grant funding. They had a really interesting professor there who has done quite a bit of research and has been working with Washington on the change to the process, and I'll forward the name to Dr. Rocha. But also, I have heard that the HAKU representatives from PCC also had engaged in some of that discussion. I wanted to personally thank Harold Coates Fellow, who is related to one of our trustees, who actually made, how is she related? But she actually provided quite a bit of data to some of the legislators and was then contacted for additional data to help get more information about how we can provide for both communities and not pit them against each other. So I thought that was really great. So the other thing is, as I mentioned before, that LACSTA, we're convening a roundtable on the adult education issues for discussion between the K-12s and the community colleges, so I'll keep you posted. But the CSBA District 23 will also be convening a forum and a discussion on May 31st regarding the college readiness issues, and invites all of the community college trustees and the community to come and participate with the K-12. So that will be the City of Hope.
Thank you, President Martin. A few things. Once, about a week and a half ago, I had the privilege, along with other trustees, to attend the scholarship breakfast for the Pasadena, the President's Latino Advisory Committee, and it's always one of the most inspiring events of the year to hear the stories directly from the students. And guest of honor was Jaime Escalante II, along with a student who's now a principal, who was a student of Jaime Escalante's as well. So, Dr. Oliva, thank you for a tremendous program there. And as others will say, the premiere of 42 was a really uplifting event, and that was wonderfully executed. Thank the foundation for making that happen. I had the privilege of representing PCC and community colleges before something called the Southern California Leadership Council, which is a group of about 20 people, but 3 of them happen to be former governors, Gray Davis, George McMachin, and Pete Wilson, as well as CEOs from Southern California. Their focus was workforce development. There was somebody from the Cal States, the UCs, the community colleges, and labor, and every question was, we really need the community college leadership in workforce development, and what are we doing to partner with businesses? And I was able to share some of the programs that we have at PCC, where we're working with our Pasadena Water and Power and other agencies to create strong workforce programs, and it was an honor to be able to do that before Governor McMachin and others. On Tuesday, next week, is the meeting of the Board of Governors. And one of the things we'll be taking up, and I'll be eager to hear feedback from our community too, is on course repeatability. There's that issue of how many times can a student complete a course and continue to receive funding for it. And it's something that's part of the Student Success Task Force recommendation. And if people have opinions on it, I'd be pleased to receive them. And I wanted to share one other thing, and I'm going to go to the podium here. But what we did at the Chancellor's office just last week was released something called the Student Success Scorecard for the state of California. Every community college district's student success numbers are now there for everybody to see. And it's what's interesting too, Pasadena City College, first and foremost, we should be very proud of the results that Pasadena City College is generating over time. And even though there are some interesting trends and some of the things that we need to focus on, the state has recognized Pasadena City College as a leader in generating results for students. One of the things you'll see in this slide is how students who come to college prepared for college level work do have high success rates, that they either attain their degree or certificate within a fixed amount of time. Nearly 3 out of 4 do that. But the students that we inherit who are not ready for college level work, that enter our basic skills program, are less successful at a 44% rate. But, believe it or not, Pasadena City College is a tier above virtually every district in the state. And you'll be able to see what's very important for us, and I hope that our district continues to explore this. You can see over time where that information, I'm printing some of this out, and it will come out. you'll be able to see success rates over time about the cohort size, age, broken out by ethnicity, and things like that. So I'm not going to go over the data here, but I encourage every member of the community who's interested in wants objective data. The district is and the state is providing that by the Chancellor's office, and that you can also compare our rates to similar colleges like Glendale, Mount Sac, Santa Monica. But overall, the Chancellor's office called me personally to say that they consider PCC setting the standard in both accountability and also the results on student success.
Thank you, Trustee Ballin. Dr. Mann.
Well, I have really nothing to add. I think I attended every event that was mentioned by the other trustees, and maybe a few more, like the foreign languages award ceremony. This is an exciting time of the year. I'm glad that I had the time to do this. One of the things I would like to suggest is, the student success, the scorecard was one of the recommendations of the Student Success Task Force, and I think there is actually a legal requirement that the board is supposed to look at it and discuss it. So I would like to get a little ahead and suggest it as a future agenda item. I think Trustee Baum gave us a good start, but I think we need to talk about what the implications are, and the data is very good, but there are some troubling aspects to it.
Trustee Brown.
Sure. This past Sunday was Super Education Sunday, and I visited New Revelation Church with a group of students and staff, and we were received very well. And I really would like to thank all the participants that were out this past Sunday. And I know that our president's been out not only this Sunday, but 2 Sundays in a row. And I really want you guys to know that we appreciate your efforts. On April 23rd, I attended the African American President Advisory Committee Town Hall meeting at Jackie Robinson Park. And it was a well-attended meeting with several community leaders, so I hope that our message is getting out there to the community as to what to expect with the new regulations and the message to the students. So I was pretty comfortable with that meeting. I was in San Francisco on the weekend of the 20th through the 23rd, attending the American Association of Community Colleges 93rd Annual Convention. The conference was great. We had a great variety of wonderful workshops, and I happened to see a lot of our faculty down there, in several of them, so it was a good time, and I was happy to be there. On April the 13th, I attended the Male Mentoring and Partnership Youth Development fundraiser, which is sponsored, I guess, from New York High School and different high school. It focuses mainly on the males. That's what it's about. So, of course, and there are others which I failed to record. Thank you.
Trustee Fellow.
In return tonight, I want to praise Trustee Waugh, who continues to educate, I think, the trustees about Asian, especially this one, about Asian issues, and also to congratulate her for her work with the Asian community and raising scholarships for Asian students. And one of the events will be on Thursday. Controller John Chang will be the speaker, and so I appreciate your work in that effort. I also want to say ceremonies are very important. Perhaps one of the most important, besides marriage, I guess, is graduation. And I want to wish all the graduates much success, and I hope you'll all be out there. And I teach in Italy where there are no ceremonies for graduation in high school or college, and it's very boring. Thank you.
I have 2. First, I attended the Measure P Oversight Committee. The committee is recommending, within the scope of the approved bond, that the college engage the architectural services of a professional architect to help with the secondary space issues, which is part of the bond initiative. So they wanted me to communicate to the board that the committee did feel that the expense of Measure P money for the architectural services to make sure that the space that's being reconstituted post Center for the Arts coming online was within the scope of the bond. Trustee Thompson. Man, every time I speak, lights come on. Amazing.
Actually, you had your comments had nothing to do with mine.
Oh, well, go ahead. Say whatever you want then.
This is Trustee Brown's comments that they.
Oh, okay.
Put it back on. She reminded me that last Sunday I went to Scott United Methodist Church on Orange Grove and Rosemont Avenue to take part in the PCC outreach program to African American churches and African American students locally. And Kim Miles and a number of student ambassadors were there. Had a great program set up, a table for people to go and pick up literature, and it was really a great opportunity to be able to speak to the congregation and students and tell them about PCC and what we have to do. And I know Dr. Bell went to the Victory Baptist Church Sunday also, and Dr. Rocha went to that too. So it's a great program. What's this, our third year of doing it, I think, and it's really wonderful. I think our African American population has increased from about 5% to close to 10%, I think, this past year. So it's paying off as well. So thank you very, very much.
Okay, my last announcement is I've been asked to read a statement to the college by the Board of Trustees that the Board of Trustees unanimously approved and asked me to read. And so I appreciate you that it hung into the bitter end to wait till my turn to do this, and others have left. The board reiterates again its unconditional and unanimous support for Dr. Rocha. The status quo academic calendar for PCC is the current 3-term calendar without a winter intersession. We respect and listen to all recommendations and views on the status quo calendar. Moving forward, the board stands by its decision on the current calendar as the best one for student success and for the district's budget. Following the release of the governor's 2013-2014 budget and the completion of the independent fact-finding by PERD, the board will take all views into full consideration and make a determination and adoption of the academic calendar for 2013-2014. And that was, I was asked again, I'm going to repeat, was asked by the full and unanimous board to read that statement. Okay, we are at future board meeting dates.